From today, we'll start with GUI designing, graphic user interface. GUI stand for graphic user interface. Okay, so how to design a frames and how to create a frames that we are going to see today. And these are very interesting topic and not that much hard. And from today, whatever I will take the lecture on daily basis, I will assign a task. Okay, because now onward we are taking a training on for software development. So after the lecture, I will assign you the task and you have to complete it by daily basis. Okay. So up to now, whatever we have seen, that all are the console based applications. Okay. Now onward, we are going to work on GUI based application. GUI based application. Graphic user interface. We are using core Java concept only. Means all the concept that we have done up to now, like inheritance, interface, functions, all that going to use in that UI based applications. Okay. But only thing is that while taking input, we are not using a scanner class. We'll directly use the frames. For calling function, we are not directly calling function. We are using a button click event. So that will be the difference while working with graphic user interface or designs. To develop a design or frame in a Java, there are two classes are used and that are nothing but called AWT and swing, SWRNG swing. So these are the ready-made classes which we need to extend, and with the help of extend, we can access all the features that is required to design a frames. So our first target is to design empty frame. Okay. So in empty frames, only thing is there is an maximize screens, minimize screens, and one screen is for just closing buttons. These are the only thing. If you open any kind of this, for example, you can just open a notepad, you will come to know. So this is entire is a frame, and there are three things: close, maximize, and minimize. Right? So this frame is also designed by using some code. Okay. So now the current you can see the screen. We can design a same UI screen by using Java. Okay. So you're understanding what we are going to learn. We are going to learn UI designing, that is kind of frames. And firstly, we study how to design empty frames. Then later on, we are going to see how to add a controllers, that is called a widgets, like how to add a button in that, and then how to add some labels, how to take an input labels, all that things. Firstly, we'll just focus on GUI design, and then we're going to add the functionality in that. Okay, the step by step we'll do. So as we go further, if I assign any design to you, you can easily develop that by using these functions and tools. Okay. So let's start now. For today onward, we are design a screen by using Java technology. And for that, AWT and the Swing, these are the two ready-made classes which provide many functionalities to design such a frame. Okay. So in Python, like we have used tk enter in a similar manner. Here is a sway WT and swing is there. Okay. So let's design a first screen today. So, and for that, what we need to use, what are the functionality that all you're going to see. Okay. So the first frame is very important because the same code will be needed for all the further designs. So whatever design we are going to do as go further, but the empty frame is needed for all. So that frame designing is very important. So let's see that what kind of code we need to write while designing an empty frame and all that things. Okay. So can you see the screen? Let me check whether it is visible or not. Fine, it is visible. So let's start with the first string. So what class we are going to use? AWT and swing. Okay, just a second. Oh, now its screen is not visible, right? Yeah, just a minute. So there is. So today, just we take a first screen, empty screen, and then later on we're going to see how to add a controllers and all that thing. So presenting. Okay, it will taking some time. Yeah, fine. So let's go into our files. Project school. I will add a new package, and the package name should be you can either give the GUI or AWT swing. So let me add a name as a GUI, Graphic User Interface. Perfect. Oh, we need to add a package, not a class. We added simple class. Just remove it. Add a package here. SRC, right click, new package, GUI, Graphic User Interface. I'm going to add a first class that is called of FRAME, frame demo, and main class. Okay. So we know that everything is executed in main class only. So we have to take an example of main class. Now, how to start designing a frame? So firstly, we'll focus to create a main frames. So try to understand all the functionality and how to do the code. So as I said, we need to use a ready-made classes which provide us built-in functions. Okay, and we know the extend keywords. So what I will do, I will simply the class will going to extend extend. Okay, we want to design a frame so that we are using one built-in functions or built-in class that is called a JFrame. JFrame is a Java frames which provide all the functionality related to what that designing the frames and which comes under what swing. Okay, the swing is a more updated than the AWT. We are going to use a swing. So the very first thing, whenever you want to design a screen or you design a GUI or frame, you need to extend a J frame. And if you check the J frame internally, it is too much of code. It is written in the J frames. If you extend this, you'll come to know there is a class called a J frames, and it is having some thousands of lines of code. And again, this J frame is extending what? It extending a frame. See, internally it is extending a frame. Okay, and the frame internally extending window, and a window again it is extending container. The container is again extending the component, and it is implementing and one more all the things. So internally it is too much widely and the longer code. Okay, but all the things are available readily once you extend that frames. Okay, so there is no need to worry how long code it have and all that things. We just need to have to use some basic functions which will provide to create an empty frames. Okay, so the very first job is to just extend the J frames. Okay, after that let me create one constructor here. And we know the rule of constructor, it is same name of the class name and it don't have any data types. Okay. See the structure, you need to follow the same for all the frames. Fine. So now let's add some basic property. The very first property is to set size. What will be the size for frame? Okay. And here the size will be pass width and height. Okay. So width means x-axis and height means y-axis. So let me add 250 comma 250. So this means the frame size will be 250 by 250. Okay. Then there are many kind of layout. There are table layout, there are grid layout, there are border layout. So initially we'll set all the layout should be null. Okay. Layout as a null. We are not using any built-in layouts. We just keep it as a null. And after that, use the method view this set visible set visible true. Okay. So that your frame will start viewing. That's these are the three lines you need to maintain. All the major functionality will be get automatically added as soon as you can extend this JFrames. Then add this frame size here. So let me mention. So this is your constructor CNTR. This is your frame size. This is visible screen, or you can say that a frame. Okay. And just you need to call this frame simply. And the constructor is get automatically called as soon as object is created. Okay. Either you can call this type also, or you can, if you want to create like this, so that is also okay, not a problem. Okay. You can use directly use a new class names, or you can create objects. Both are same. Now let's run this file. Right click, run as Java applications. So we'll come to know this is our Java first frame. Right? You can see that you can maximize the screen, you can minimize the screen, or even you can close this screen. How cool it is, no? Up to now, we are just writing a lengthy code, and all this output we are seeing on console base. So now onward, all the lecture will be very interesting. You can actually start feeling that we have learned some things and we are actually implementing that also. By doing the console based programming, it feel good that we are doing code, but this is actually provide us something. Okay. So the very first job is to be create and this empty frames. Now just keep on adding step by step one on properties. And remember, all code should be must return after or before this visibility. Okay. Don't add any code after this visible because that will be not get visible. So before the visibility, you have to add entire code. Got it? So let me add one more property here, and that property is nothing but I will add a title. Set a title so that the frame have some title. So let me have GUI frame. You can see this frame, it don't have any titles. If we now run these programs, you will find her with the titles. And see GUI frames. Okay, fine. So this is your empty frames, and within this empty frame, now we can keep adding the controllers. Okay. So what are the basic controllers? Some of the label, some of the button, then how to take an input, all that things. Okay. So let me add very first controllers. So we'll understood now how to adjust that controls or widgets on a frames. So let me just increase the frame size by 100 and 100, and I will add one or two buttons, and rest of tasks will be given to you. Okay. So now let's me add one simple buttons. So you have to create the object. All the widgets are, it may be a button, it may be a text field or J field, anything. That all are the built-in classes. So button is also one kind of class. So I'll create the object for the button. Sorry, not button, it's a J button, Java button. Just import that also. Just take a cursor on that and it will automatically get import J buttons. Okay. Now initialize that buttons. How we can initialize? Okay, let me do one more thing. So I will not add a button here. So we'll keep simple. This is your first code for creating GUI. Okay, friends. Then later on we are going to add a button in that. So we'll keep the program separate. So at least you can create empty frame first, and then later on how to add a button and all that things. Okay. I will keep all the code separate so that you can access it properly. You got it? How to create a empty frames? Just extend the JFrames and create a constructor, these three properties, four properties, and create a just object. Fine. Now I'll create one more class, and that is I will give the name as a button. VDN main class. Now let's me tell how should I very first thing we need to extend extends extend what? JFrame, right? Then after that we need to create a constructor. Sorry, capital BTN, and then very first property set size. Let me add size of 500 by 500. Next property, you can either set size or set title also. So let me add a, as a button BUTTON. Then after that, we'll set a default layout as a null. And then after that, set visible true, right? TRUV true, and just call the constructor. Can just use that this also new BTN run as Java application. Oh, sorry, just right click, run as Java applications. Right, this is our simple empty frames. Now let's keep on adding a button. So while creating a button, so button is also kind of a class. So BUTTON buttons, that is J button. B. Import this J button. Fine. Now all the code should be before set visible. Okay. Now what we'll do? We'll initialize that button that b is equal to new button button and give the button name. Suppose I will get a new button name as a ONE1. So now you should decide where to position this button. Either it is left side, or it is a right side, or any side, or a center. Okay. So for positioning that buttons, there is a property called setBounds. Okay. setBounds, BOUNDS, set bound, bounds. Okay. So set bounds having four property. First one is an X, second one is Y, width and height. So let me add, suppose X is a 10, Y is also something 10. I will give the width as a 50, height as a 20. Okay. Then add this button in a frame. There is a property called add, and what we want to add is B. Okay. So let's run this file and see where the button is get added. Okay. So there is a, we need to increase the height. X, Y, width and height. So X and Y is okay. Width, let me add some width as a 150 and height as a 100. Okay. Now let's run. Perfect. But it is too much height, width and height. So give me the height some 50 only. It's perfect. You can minimize the width also. See, now understand this position, how exactly it added. So the very first thing we need to understand here. Okay, let me close the unwanted files. Close window, close window, close window. This is also closed. Now this is. See, understand the property now. So very first the empty frame is created. The button is the titles. Now next. The name of the button is what? ONE1. This is. And understand this is very important. Set the bounds. So now this bounds is what? X position. So this is an X. Okay, let me try to draw some with the help of Epic pen. Is that possible to draw? Then that's fine. Okay. So now this is an X position. And what is X here? 10. So this space is what? About a 10. Then this is what? This is your X. This is your Y. This is your width. And this is your height. So in this is position your what? This is your Y. This is your X. This is the width and this is the height. Okay. So these are the four properties are there. Now tell me, I want to add one more button and then button should be here like this as a 2. So what position or what parameter should I pass so that the button will be stick at that position? Any guesses? The entire frame is nothing but this is your Y and this is your X. we have to just only change the x value. Instead of 10, we should write. So what is our, this is what 500. So around x we can write up to 350 or 400. That's all. Okay. The rest of all remains same. In the similar manner, if I want to add a button here, then your job is to change y positions. Okay. I will add only one button, that is here, and I will give the assignment to add button from this side, this side, this side, here, and here. Okay. By tomorrow, you have to show me that task, and then we'll go further. Okay. But let me change how to add a multiple buttons. Let me show you. So as you added a one buttons, if you want to add a one more button, so just create an object, suppose B2. Okay. You can create multiple button like B3, B4, no problems. So now I want to add one more button. So after this, I will go here. That is B2 is equal to again new J button. I will add it as a 2, TW22, semicolon. B2 dot set bounds. Sorry, not a border. It's a bounds. Set bound. So we need to increase the X. So total size is about 500, and we are giving the width of 100. So that will be around 400 we can start, but I want to give the space from that also. So I'll just add a 370 here. X. Y will be remain same, width will be same, and height also be a same. Okay, just add B2. Now just observe this. Correct? Getting? So
Yes.
this is it. Just now observe, if I not changing this X, I will just keep add as a X as suppose 50, and even I change the Y also 50. And we come to know that button will be added just below, but just sliders. The X is now 50, Y is also 50, but still it is not giving the space. So let me add below. It's 150 here. See now, you're changing X, Y. So Y is
Yes.
150, X is 50. So accordingly, you have to keep on adjusting the button and adjust that positions.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes.
For a task, we have to add five buttons.
Yeah. So your task is to be, let me clarify your task. So I have shown you the two properties, that is from left side and right side. Now your task is to be add five buttons. Like you have to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons. This is first button. This is second button. Similarly, like you have to take 5 buttons. Okay. Only your job is to adjust these positions. Okay. So now here is a one. Here is a two. Now you have to add a three is here. Okay. Third button will be here. Fourth button will be here, and here fifth in the exact middle. Okay. So this practice is very important because all the skill is all about how you are creating a frames and how you are adjusting the data. So because this property set bounds will be a similar for everyone, Either you're adding labels or are you taking inputs and all that things. Okay. So you have to add this. So this is your task. Okay. Just understand this. So let me share you the screenshot also so that you'll come to know. Let me try to minimize the code. This is frames and this is this. I'll share the screenshot. This is task as well as a sample code for adding and adjusting buttons. Got it?
Yes.
So we'll take small lectures and you have to complete the task on daily basis.